Preparing to live stream the meeting. This is a lot easier than it was 2 years ago.
And we are now live, Mr. Tom. Welcome everyone, whoever's watching. And Tom, thank you so much for asking me to have a conversation with you about the thing that you love the most. My name is Tina Overbury, for anyone who doesn't know me yet. And my work is in story. And Tom has been a coach. Has been coaching me for the last 2 years. And I'm super thrilled to be jumping into his program, Game Changers, that is launching next month. And let me tell you a little bit about Tom. And I love introducing people because it changes every time I do it, because who we are is a living experience. So please meet Tom if you haven't yet, although we're on his feed. Tom is an extraordinary coach who sees the pieces of you that are illuminated, but beyond your ability to see them yourself yet. He is an adventure consciousness coach. And what I mean by that is the word fear is the word that moves us into the next iteration of our being. And we got to go on an adventure to face our fears. And so that adventure consciousness piece is about being present with that and building some resilience, some muscle, some comfort in that. And Tom is an incredibly funny, dry sense of humor, charming, loving, game-changing person himself who lives the work that he offers the world. He's also a huge heart and he's fucking brave. So that's my experience of you in this moment, Tom. And yeah, thanks for the opportunity to introduce you.
Wow. Thank you so much, Tina. I've said it before and I'll say it again. There are few people in the world, if any, who I would prefer to be introduced by than you. You, and I think I said this to you this morning, your ability to see right into the core of someone and pull that story out of them is unparalleled. Um, so before we dive in, I would like to create you in this space, who you are for me right now, who Tina is for me. And again, this, like Tina said, this changes every time. And in this moment, Tina is emergence. Tina is artistry in leadership. Tina is a bubble caster. And what I mean by that is when she holds space for you and your story, she casts a bubble around the whole circle, whether that's a circle of two of you and her, or whether it's a circle of 2,000. She casts a protective bubble of safety and sacredness around the conversation that you're in, and within that space, miracles happen. That's who Tina is to me. She's also courageous. She is also brave. She is a founding member of this brand new thing that I'm bringing to the world, Game Changers, which I'm so excited about, and I'm so excited to talk about with Tina, and really explore what the program is for me as the creator of it, why I think you should be a part of it, but also what is it to Tina? What appealed to Tina? Why did Tina want to be a part of it? And why does she think that you should be a part of it? So Tina, welcome.
Mm.
Welcome to the room.
Thanks, Tom. I feel welcomed in the room. Yeah, thank you. Uh, who wants to start? I kind of feel like you might want to talk to me first, since you just, yeah, that's my impulse. You want to ask me a question? Why am I here?
Well, why are you here? Why? Let's start with, why did you agree to come on this live with me?
Yeah.
Like what is your intention for being here?
Yeah. I think you're a best kept secret, and I think that that needs to stop. I think that your market of people, your community, the people that you've run with for the last couple of decades have a sense of who you are and how playful you are, and what's possible for you. And to me, have walked beside you for a number of years. You're in, you've landed, you're here. This is your work. This is it's time. It's present, it's clear, it's grounded, it's is not just a theory, it's a practice. And I have had extraordinary breakthroughs with you. And I know that I'm a game changer because I'm really hard to coach. And what I mean by that, it's not that I'm hard to coach. I am, I have been hard to surrender my will, because I like to play with people who are game changers, and aren't going to say no, don't do that, play it safe, maybe you should, maybe blah 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 blah. Or even honestly, I don't even enjoy a lot of the coaching practices where, like, I sometimes I can get frustrated where I'm like, okay, you're the expert in the room. What the hell am I want to be listening. I want to be taken beyond my knowing, not into my knowing. And you have held a space, Tom, where somehow or other I'm like, I'm in, I'm surrendered, I'm willing, and and that is special, especially when you're a game changer, because I don't think changers surrender their will that often. And I think that's a good thing. I think I think it takes a fuck ton of chutzpah to step out in the world and say, I am. And then it takes a fuck ton of chutzpah for a coach to match that I am. And you do that for me. So I'm here because I want the world to know that you're you're a you're a game changer, and you're a game changer for me.
Mm, wow, that's beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Um, so then I guess the next place to go from there is, what is game changers for you?
Um, here's what I hope it is. Here's what I hope it is. So I've just come through a stage in my life of claiming my own I amness, if you will. And now I need to walk that path and consistently walk that path and not do the thing that I've always done, which is bursts of doing it and then go stop, go kind of stop. And for the next 6 months with the cohort, it's a practice of showing up and doing and showing up and doing and showing up and being brave, showing up and being scared of being brave anyway. So it's, for me, it's the integration of those bursts and creating some consistency so that it becomes embedded in who I am and embodied in my knowing. That's what I hope it is.
Yeah, well, that is for sure one of the elements.
Okay.
Um,
Phew.
for sure one of the elements. Yeah, show up and be brave and be compassionate and
Mm.
and be loving and be kind and be brave and be brave and be brave. And one of,
Mhm.
the you mentioned adventure consciousness at the beginning. Like, for me, we are on adventure when we're outside of our comfort zone, whatever that looks like. Adventure for me doesn't only exist at the top of a mountain or the middle of an ocean. Adventure is every time we leave the cave, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. And being a game changer, being any kind of entrepreneur, you live your life outside of the cave, and there's no map, and there's no um, safety net often, and you're alone. And I think that's one of the things that I'm excited for this container to be, is a space for game changers to not be alone, to stop screaming into the empty well, hoping that someone is gonna listen. Um, a lot of times when I introduce myself to someone, I say that I work with game-changing visionaries who tell me that they feel alone in their work and they long to be doing the actual work of creating their vision instead of trying to convince everyone that it's an important vision.
Mm,
And
mm.
what I hope, one of my intentions for this space is that we do more doing and less talking, more being and less fearing.
Well, I think you're onto something there because I think visionaries, we do a lot of talking, and it's important to talk because we're literally finding the words for the thing that doesn't exist yet. And I think there's also a lot of self-convincing that these words are a thing. And then the big disappointment is when either those words aren't met by somebody else or we don't meet them with our own action. And then at least for me, it's been this like up and down and up and down and oh, I've got it. Oh, I've got and then who are my people, right? Who are the people that I don't have to hold my vision back from or my it sounds like I'm not sure why this word is present right now, but like my ferociousness, which I have that. I mean, I'm also super compassionate and super loving and can
Mm-hmm.
and needs I need more boundaries. You and I've done work on that. But there's also this ferociousness that lives inside possibility, you know?
Yeah. Well, and you've touched on a really key part of being a game changer, right? Being someone who sees the world differently, who has a vision for how humans can do better, for um, for a different way of humaning. Often that comes with feedback from the world that you're too much, because most of the world doesn't want to change, right? Most of the world is happy in the cave, even though, there's rocks and puddles in there. I know this,
Mm.
I know this discomfort and I'm okay with it.
Mhm.
And the discomfort of going over there, which sure, that sounds nice, but it's going to be real uncomfortable. So I'm
Mhm.
just going to stay here sleeping in the puddle because I'm used to it. And when someone shows up and they're like, guys, we can do this differently. There is a better way. It can be received as too much. And I think one of the great tragedies is so how many game changers have quenched their flame because they haven't had a community of people who a community of people with whom they are not only enough,
Mhm.
but they are needed and they are championed and they are supported and they are pushed and they are elevated and they are challenged.
Mhm.
And another piece of this puzzle for me is this idea that was coined by I can never say that, a Nobel Prize winning chemist, Ilya, something, I don't have it in front of me. I, I don't remember the name, and I would probably get it wrong even if I did have it written in front of me. But what they said was that in a large system that is, oh, I'm going to butcher the quote as well. Basically in a large system that is out of coherence, a small island of coherence can shift the entire system to a higher order. In a
Mhm.
large system that's out of coherence, small islands of coherence can shift the entire system to a higher order. And my curiosity, when we gather and we're all committed to each other's individual success, what is the impact on the big system,
Mhm.
the big system of humanity, the global population that is so far out of alignment with itself? And you've got such huge dichotomies in politics and food scarcity and wealth and all this stuff. What if it was possible for a group of 12 people to come together from different fields and shift global consciousness? Like, what if that was possible?
Mm.
The other piece, the next piece, is there's only one seat for any given field.
Mm-hmm.
There's an amazing book which I will be sending to everyone who joins called The Medici Effect, which is about the magic that happens in the space between two different fields when you as an artist and a storyteller come together and you connect with someone from a computer background, or you connect with someone from a climate background, or you connect with someone from a food equality or a circular economy background. What emerges from that, we don't know. So the Medici Effect is a book that starts by talking about the Medici family in Florence, who were bankers, and they funded artists, sculptors, musicians to come and they sponsored them, they championed them. I can't remember the word, but it's that. And what happened as a result of that was the Renaissance,
Mm.
a
Mm-hmm.
global shift in
Right.
consciousness,
Right. Right.
because one family brought people together from different disciplines.
Mm.
And those people from different disciplines, they found each other, they exchanged ideas, and they created an entirely new way of thinking, of expression, of art, of a way of living in the art that they were creating. And almost all of the names of all the artists and the composers that we've ever heard of came out of that.
Mm-hmm.
Right? The Da Vinci's and the Mozarts and the blah 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 blah.
Mm-hmm.
So my curiosity is like, what does that look like in 2024 and 2025 and 2026? And when we go on this journey for 25 years together,
Mm-hmm.
when I go on this journey for 25 years, and people come and people go, but the space has that intention that everyone who comes into it will not only exponentially increase what they achieve in their own life and who they become in their own life, but something entirely new comes from it that no one can know right now. That's what I'm excited about above everything else. Who do I become
Mm-hmm.
in 25 years after 26 cohorts of this? Who am I? I have no idea. And
Mm-hmm.
where is the world? I don't know. But
Mm-hmm.
my hope, my intention is that it's in a better place, and that we create miracles, like genuine miracles.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I just had a thought, wow, you should really do this conversation with everyone in the cohort, because my response to that is going to be through my game-changing filter, right? Like,
Mm,
I really, really, it's amazing that you said that, because I just posted about this and I've been saying this for a little bit. I believe we're entering the age of the artist right now. I really, really do. I think that where there is, like, art is a universal language. Where there is no words, there is art. Where there, when our systems are shaking, crumbling, collapsing, what do artists know how to do? We are in practice of creating something out of nothing. Like, that's the framework we live in as artists. And so as a game changer, myself as an artist and storyteller, that's what I'm bringing to the group, that is finding each other. And may that something that comes out of nothing. When I say nothing, it's just because it hasn't happened yet. It's not that it's empty. The empty space is never empty. The empty space is just waiting. It's possibility waiting to intersect so that something grows. So I'm all on board. That wow, the Medici effect. Yeah, wow. Yes. Yes. I'm in. I'm in for a renaissance. And I'm really curious, like to me, science is also art. Like it's all art, says me. It's all that getting outside the thing so that we can see the new thing or have it alchemically sort of all come together. Wicked. Huh. So tell me a little bit about because you just said, "Are you doing this?" And I said yes. So I don't like honestly. We're in this for 6 months, right? But can you tell me a little? Can you tell me a little bit about what's going to happen over 6 months? That you know, yeah.
Well, I mean, I think you know all of this, and maybe you don't, but this is a space that we will co-create together. And what I have in my mind might not be what we end up with in 6 months. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. It will be a space where everyone contributes, right? Part of the cost of entry is contribution. What I will contribute is 3 group coaching sessions a month and 3 individual coaching sessions over the course of the 6 months. Those sessions will be where I share my gift, which is pushing people past their edge, believing in them more than they believe in themselves, seeing the piece of them that they don't see, extracting their I am statements, and shifting their being.
Mhm.
So one call per week will be that. Another call in the week will be alternating between a mastermind call, which is everyone, myself included, being together, being in circle, sharing wins and lessons and challenges. Very little structure other than a set of principles that guide what we're here for, which is to be here for each other's success, to trust each other fully, to share openly and vulnerably, to be champions for each other, to consciously create every member of the group out in the world. So every other week will be that. And then in the weeks in between will be sessions led by the game changers. So
Oh,
you will lead a
cool.
session for the group. And then 2 weeks later, someone else will lead a session from the group. So we will all learn your story magic, and we will all learn. Um, Aaron will teach us all about democratizing the web, and and John, when he joins, which he's 90% there,
Go,
he
John.
will
Go,
teach
John.
us about algae and why algae is
Right.
potentially the savior and the our way out of food scarcity. And it's amazing. Hearing him talk about algae is amazing. Um,
Wow.
so every other week we will learn from someone that we might otherwise never learn from,
Hmm.
because without this, we're operating in silos.
Hmm.
And you're hanging out with artists, and he's hanging out with scientists, and so my goal, my intention is to break those silos down and allow magic to emerge from that. And then over the course of time, I'm going to bring in guest speakers to share their magic with us. And who knows, maybe there'll be a retreat at the end.
Hmm.
We'll see.
Love it.
Um, so yeah, it's a space that we co-create, that we all contribute to, that we all consciously create, not only in the group, but out in the world. So part of my responsibility and part of your responsibility being in this group is to go out in the world and create you and him and her and them. Why does the world need to know about Tina Overbury to me? Who does Tina Overbury need to meet and connect with, right? And between us in the room, how does that network level everyone up through the connections that we're able to make, through the new neural pathways that we develop, through the that the collective mastermind, right? The mastermind is a principle that was, spoken about at great length in the book Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. If you haven't read that book, go out and read it, because it is a game changer. What he talks about is the mastermind being a third entity that exists in the space between two people or three people or four people. It is an access point to infinite information that we just don't have, right? I can't think my way to a solution that a conversation with one person will get me to. And I can't think my way to a solution that will emerge from a conversation that is co-created between 12 people. And when those 12 people are all at the top of their game and they're all coming from a different perspective and a different viewpoint, that's fire. That's fucking fire.
That's fire. Yeah, I feel that. I hear that. I live that. I get it. Yeah, I'm really excited about the idea of being in a collective of people who have an opportunity to bring their gifting into the world, like bring their passion, bring their fire, like bring their torch into the big fire. Um, for, I mean, many reasons. There's lots of logical reasons, about that just make sense. But then there's this other one that just knowing, like when I know your work and somebody else knows my work, it changes who we are when we leave this space. You will say something to me that changes everything for my day, and I will repeat that to somebody else. And now I'm catching your 25-year vision of that. Wow, I'm part of the first one. Wow, I'm really honored,
Yeah,
Tom.
and I'm really honored for you to be here. And I'm really excited for you to be here. And I'm excited for the magic that you're going to bring to the space. Because as I said to you this morning, you are a magic witch and you do cast spells. And when people are in your presence, they get better. They do better. They see better. They feel better. They create better. And everyone who's going to be a part of this is going to be similar.
I'm excited to see who shows up.
Yeah. So who do you think it's for?
I
If
think it's for magical. Why am I saying that word? But I am magical and frustrated people who are they may not. Truthfully, I think the thing about game changers is they don't even know to be here. Because I think one of the skills of game changer is being willing to be out on the edge of the skinny branches all by yourself. And so I think it's even game changing for a game changer to say, I'm going to be part of a community. So I think it's for people who don't even know that they would benefit from being here. And so I would say to them, if you're listening to this and you're like, hell no, that's actually a reason to inquire further. Not in any way saying I don't respect your boundary at all. But I am saying if you've got a hell no in your body, and as a story person, that hell no means something, go find out what it means. And it might mean hell no, this isn't for me, but it also might mean hell no, this is a yes, and I don't know it yet. So I would say that. I would also say it's for people who absolutely know that they're lonely in their experience of game changing and might have an inner monologue of going, maybe I shouldn't bother. This will never work. Oh, what the hell? What am I really, 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 really? If they've heard really from multiple people around them, this would be something for them. I also think I think there are stages in our life. I'm being really specific now. There are stages in our life where we've had enough. And I think there's something that happens in our mid to late 20s where we're like, fuck y'all, you do not know what you're doing, and this sucks, and I want to go run with something. I think that happens there. So if that's you, come check this out. And I think it also happens, it doesn't have to be about the age, but it's somewhere around when you look up from raising kids, or you look up from raising your career, or you look up from surviving cancer, but you look up from the debris of whatever just exploded, and you go, fuck, this is not right. This is healthier doing something else. And I think I would also ask people listening if they're in one of those two places. This would be a place to come and check it out.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, thanks for shining your light on that.
Mm.
I think another thing, like you made some really key and interesting points. You said being out on the skinny branches and being alone in that. And it's so true. And I think another piece of it is that often people that I see as game changers don't see themselves as game changers. And they don't see themselves as being out on the skinny branches
Mm.
because they're just doing what's natural to them and what they're interested in. And, if I look at myself, right, when I'm teaching someone to rock climb, I have to do a lot of work to get to the place where I'm a really to feel in my body that I am a really good rock climber and I have something to teach because it's just who I am. It's been part of me since before I could walk. I climbed out of my cot and then I was climbing trees and then I learned how to use a rope and go on a rock and whatever. But for me to put myself in that place that someone is genuinely terrified to be 2 feet off the ground. Like, I don't know what that experience is like. I can imagine because I have my own version of that. And I've done the work to, like, I know what it's like to be scared and how paralyzing and whatever. And so I can coach someone through that and get them 4 feet and then 6 feet and then up to the top of the wall. But I think so many people who are doing powerful and important and game-changing work
Mm.
don't even see themselves as game changers, even though from the outside they are way out on the skinny branches and they're like, guys, this is important. And everyone's like, you're fucking crazy. On the inside, it doesn't occur to us that we are actually here to make a significant difference in the world. Um, and so I would say if you're like, I'm not a game changer, I'm just doing my thing, let's talk.
Mm.
Because you might not know that you are a game changer. You might not see what we see. When people look at you and they call you crazy, that's because they are judging themselves that they don't have the courage to do the thing that you're doing. Again, personal experience, when I gave up drinking for the first time, when I embarked on this crazy challenge to set a climbing world record, my friends didn't know how to deal with it. And their response was, just have a shot, just have a shot. Oh, just one, come on, just one. And that went on for 2 years. And eventually I caved. I was like, I don't want to put up with this anymore. Where I am now is like, I need better friends. Right? But back then I caved because for 2 years they couldn't cope with the fact that I was doing something that shone a light on the fact that they weren't able to do it in some way. And and when we stick our head above the parapet, we are trained that it's going to get shot off. And my intention for this group is that it is a place where we can all feel safe to stick our head above the parapet, climb out to those skinny branches, make some changes, and shift global consciousness.
That feels like a great place to end.
It does.
Yeah. Mm,
It does.
yeah.
Well, I would like to end by sharing my gratitude for you, Tina, um, for the diff-
Oh, we just lost you. Well, Tom, thank you, thank you, thank you. We've just lost you. We just lost our connection. Thank you for the opportunity to be here. And thank you to anyone who is with us and watching. Um, yeah, I hope you'll join us. I'm excited to meet you. All right, everybody, have a great day.